Welcome to our presentation about the 5th Annual National Cesar E. Chavez Blood Drive Challenge, the nation's largest event of its kind, now engaging in over 20,000 volunteers and donors nationwide in 35 states. This presentation will continue to be updated on a regular basis and is available for you to share with your colleagues and friends to better explain the campaign. You and your organization are invited to participate in honoring the legacy of Cesar Chavez as an American civic leader by helping us save lives. First, a brief background about the Migrant Students Foundation. MSF is a 501c3 organization founded in 2002 by former migrant seasonal farm workers with the spirit of paying it forward, in appreciation for those who have helped them reach their dreams, and with the aim to support younger generations of migrant seasonal farm workers reach theirs. Our mission is simple. It is to help students reach and succeed in higher education. We believe there are 3 areas of service in which these students need most support in. First, scholarships to finance their education. Second, internships to confirm their fields of interest as well as find mentors. And third, service learning, which will help a young person develop as a problem solver, building skills of reflection and process review, as well as team building. We know service learning helps develop valuable community leaders. And that is why we launched the National Cesar Chavez Blood Drive Challenge. By now, most institutions of higher education are engaging heavily in service learning. Most have offices of civic engagement, and many studies have demonstrated that service learning enhances the retention of learned material, and that hands-on experience allows participants not only to relate to the subject matter, but also to form relationships through the shared experience. A new level of enhanced learning takes place, far superior than lecture and reading testing alone. Even engineering programs are now incorporating service learning. Service learning is the idea that the individual is part of a team and that learning has the purpose of solving real-life problems. Without real-life application to textbook learning, there's little transformation taking place. Service learning should include learning objectives, reflection, and repetition of utilized hands-on lessons learned for better ongoing results. Cesar Chavez once said, "The end of all education should surely be service to others." Okay, so let's explain the problem we're solving through the National Cesar E. Chavez Blood Drive Challenge. Let me set up a scenario. We know the U.S. Hispanic Latino community is the fastest growing segment of our population, likely in a not too distant future to be the largest. The blood services industry also knows how difficult it is to get Latino Hispanic blood donors. Nationwide, it's the least participating as donors, not just in blood, but in bone marrow, organ registries. Yet the most people don't know is that the Hispanic Latino community has the largest ratio of type O blood. Now that's the type that other types can use, type A and B for instance. That makes it the most valuable pool of potential blood donors. So the dilemma of this least participating, yet potentially most valuable, and for sure eventually the largest group of the population, needs to be turned upside down from a problem to a solution, a resource that will benefit the whole country, the whole nation. That's the challenge. How do we change human behavior? How do we increase donor participation? How do we overcome the myths, the mistrust, the fear the Hispanic Latino community historically has shown to have about donating blood? Can you imagine if our campaign, or if our volunteers, our donors change all of that? Our participating blood centers, if they all embrace this? How valuable would that be? How awesome of an outcome. Not easy, but doable. After 4 years of this campaign, we can prove the campaign is working. We have the data. This is being accomplished. It works. Okay, so what exactly is the National Cesar Chavez Blood Drive Challenge? It is a health service learning initiative in outreach to Hispanic Latino college students, promoting 4 objectives, which we think all work very well together and it will have a lasting permanent change in donor participation rates nationwide. First, health education. Now this deals with issues of health disparity, disease prevention, topics of HIV/AIDS, obesity, diabetes prevention, everything that is a topic of conversation during the donor registration or screening process. If you've donated blood, you know the questionnaire that you have that touches on these topics, and you know that people who are dealing with some of these issues are typically not able to donate blood. This is a real-life heads-up and addresses these issues to all participants. Very valuable for a young person to address who otherwise may or may not have had a shock, if you will, if they are in any of these risk areas. So this is a great wake-up call. More on this later. Number 2, health and science careers. In fact, we do target recruiting students going into the health professions to be the student leaders and student organizations to host the blood drive. We do have many future nurses, future doctors, future hospital managers, future health policy administrators, health educators, future blood services professionals participating. More info on this later, but the campaign permits them hands-on experience and opportunity to meet professionals in those fields. Number 3, civic engagement. This is where Cesar Chavez ties in. He was one of the best American role models in recent history for individuals who devoted their lives to addressing community needs, who didn't run away from a problem, who didn't give up, who spent his life improving the lives of others. Practiced what he learned from Mahatma Gandhi and Martin Luther King Jr. We believe Cesar Chavez very much provides a wonderful role model for our youth. It embodies a spirit of service learning. More on that later, but here's a World War II veteran who comes home, sees the needs of the community, and continues his service, extends it for the rest of his life in a very selfless manner. We can all identify as him being a role model for all Americans. Saving lives. Blood donation, bone marrow, and organ registry save lives, period. That's simple. How else can most of our youth in the whole country so easily participate in the selfless act? We also believe and know that blood donation leads or can lead, we're seeing it happen, to bone marrow and organ registry. Donating blood is a quick and easy shared experience that all colleges students can have. So the basic plan is, in a nutshell, students organize a blood drive which can grow to full-blown campus-wide health fair, going from just a few hours to 3 full days at multiple locations. It'll grow. Year to year, it'll grow. We do it in March and April. Why? Because Cesar Chavez's birthday is March 31st, which is rapidly becoming a holiday locally, regionally, and states, and working very hard, and hopefully someday soon will be a national holiday. Growing every year is the key to this event. The students and their partner blood centers set their own goals, then report the outcomes. They are part of a national contest based on those goals and outcomes and their own success to see who has the most successful blood drive. Trophies, plaques, and scholarships are given out to top performers to recognize a student's efforts. So how does a campaign work? Very easy. It's a blood drive, but it's a themed blood drive honoring Cesar Chavez. The goal is to have Latino Hispanic students lead the campaign as student organizers and lead student organization. It is not a requirement. About 20% of the student leaders we have currently are not Hispanic or Latino, but it's important that they understand that the effect, the impact that campaign wishes to accomplish is within the Hispanic Latino community. So as long as the student understands that that is the area of need that we need to change, but however, along the way, anyone can donate, anyone can be recruited to participate as a donor, as a volunteer, and certainly as a leader. So we want then at that point, that organization to own this event, this annual event. growing it to be a campus-wide health fair where all Hispanic and Latino based and all, very key, health-based student organizations are invited to participate. Why does it work? And this is something that may not be as obvious to everyone initially, but once you pause and reflect and break down all the different views, all the different interests, all the different perspectives that you can see a blood drive, you truly begin to understand the multiple effects, the power, the value that this event has. Social identity, hence the celebration of Cesar Chavez's legacy, is perhaps the greatest opportunity that attracts Hispanic Latino students to participate, to have this opportunity to showcase and promote Cesar Chavez as an American civic leader. Call to action, very much in the spirit of Cesar Chavez, not to stand still when an obvious leader is needed, when an obvious problem solved can be solved, where a solution must be reached. Very much to his identity. The competition, this is a college versus the nation in higher ed competition. That's built in. Every college has a rival, has a league, whether it be in athletics or whether it be cross-state or intra-state. And since this is a national event and an annual event, those three things tie in very nicely. It starts developing tradition, year-to-year growth, year-to-year process improvement, adding participation by other partners, by other organizations, by other offices on campus. And a lot of these organizations are national organizations where they have multiple campuses involved, where now they talk about the event and their annual conferences, where they have competition, friendly competition amongst themselves to see what chapter, who won, which campus of that organization won. It's educational service learning embraced by colleges. In the last 10, 15 years, college universities have very much grown to understand and reinforce hands-on learning, tying in community service with a purpose, with reflection. There's offices at every college just about dealing with civic engagement that we can tie in to support this event, where college students receive credit sometimes for putting in the hours and especially getting the opportunity to lead an event. The ownership, this is grassroots, this is student-led. We facilitate, we instigate the idea, we invite them to participate, but we very much want the students to lead it, as service learning also indicates. It's the most successful manner by which someone learns, when you lead, when you teach. The leadership development, organizing skills, resume builder for the students, and the ownership, the sense of pride of ownership cannot be underestimated. One thing is where a student is invited to participate in somebody else's drive. It's very different than when the student or the student organization has their own drive. Self-expectations come into play there, and you'll see far greater results than simply inviting a student group to participate in somebody else's drive. This is helping save lives. All communities share the need for blood, all local, all state, or regional, or national, or countries. We're all human, and this is a very valuable, simple deed that a human can do for somebody else without knowing who it's going for, or without even needing to be thanked. It's something we can all do very easily. It's the one resource that is that we can create. It addresses hot topics such as workforce diversity, health education about HIV/AIDS, obesity, diabetes prevention, and many more. Now we have the $1,000 scholarship available. This is a very exciting part of the 2013 campaign. Overall, it's extremely valuable, rewarding, life-saving, and fun. your key